What's good, good people? Vets, let's talk. We got a special guest leading the formation today. Petty Officer, Second Class Dale Henderson. Man, before we get started, I'd like you guys to click that like, share, and subscribe. HBO special, help a brother out. Hey, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. How you doing, my brother?
I'm doing good, man. You looking mighty fresh and young over there, about what, 24, 25-ish?
Yeah. I just turned 26.
I got you. I'm 18 myself,
Actually, next week I turn 56.
Ooh, you look good though, bro. You look
Thank
real
you. Thank you. I
good.
appreciate you.
Hey, people these days don't look their age, but these 30-year-olds, I don't want to go there right now. But let's just
Yeah.
how the family doing, bro?
Everybody's doing good, man. Just see my daughter. I made her dinner last night and took it to her. I made some pancit and fried rice and mushibi, little Asian Hawaiian thing.
Yeah, I know what that is, bro. You need to start inviting a brother over.
Hey, let me know, man. I'll invite you every next time I cook. Shoot.
I got you, bro. Hey, let's jump into these questions real quick. Do you remember where you were during 9/11?
9/11, I was driving to my mom and dad and grandmother's hotel. They came out to see me and my wife and kids. And when we got to the hotel, we heard it on the radio, and it was kind of like disbelief, like shock. You know what I mean?
Right.
And then when we got to the hotel room, my grandmother was sitting in a chair, just watching the TV, just crying. She's really religious and stuff. I mean, she's been to Jerusalem and all that stuff. She just started crying, saying it's the end of the world and stuff. And my mom and dad were like in shock, and we was just all staring at the TV. And I actually seen both buildings fall. Everything. I watched it right there. I watched the second plane come in. It was crazy. It was crazy.
Oh wow. So everybody's had a different story. I'm just love hearing like where people were and how they felt and what they were going through at the time. What were their surroundings was like. I just like hearing that because everybody's story is pretty much different. Hey, this second question, like if you have one, that's cool. But if you don't, but do you have a memory that you would like that you could share? Good, bad, it don't matter.
A memory of when I was in.
Yeah.
Oh man, I got so many memories. As in the Navy, we travel a lot. So I've been around the world. I could give you here, I'll give you a little funny one, man. We was in Australia and we went to this country bar, me and a bunch of my peeps, a bunch of brothers, and they had a mechanical bull there. And so they started clowning me because I'm from North Carolina. So they're like, "Get up there, you country ass," you know what I mean? And excuse my language, but
you good. You good.
Like, get up there. I said, "Man, I ain't no punk," So I got up on this thing, right? And the guy's like, "Hey, man, you need to do this." I'm like, "Hey, man, I rode a horse before. I know what I'm doing." He's like, "Oh, okay, smart ass." But I wasn't trying to be a smart ass. I was just like, trying to show out a little bit. And I lasted like 2 seconds. He flipped that thing around. I was on the ground. all my fellas and stuff and peeps were just all like, "No, he wasn't ready."
And that's when he found out that he
effed up. This is when he knew he effed up.
Right. So what do you remember about your days of service, bro?
Man, I have so many memories, and I still keep in touch with a lot of guys on like Facebook and stuff like that and everything. I'm older military. I'm back. They called us older guys and stuff. I missed the camaraderie. I miss the guys that you could depend, because, and you know what, everybody in the military, you could know someone for 6 months and it's like you've known them for 16 years.
That's true.
And I believe a lot of that is because, we put our lives in each other's hand. So you have to have that bond, that trust, that camaraderie, to know in survival rate. Because, a lot of people don't know in the Navy is that if we get struck and on the side of the hole and it hits one of our passageways or one of our berthings or something like that, and we can't get all you out, we have to lock you down in there and kill you.
Ooh.
You know what I mean? You have to dog the hatch down to save the ship. because we're expendable.
Right.
In the Navy, we're all, they tell you you're expendable. You're just a
Right.
number, you know, but the ship is the main thing you want to save.
Yeah.
So that's where a lot of that comes from and stuff like that. So yeah,
Yeah,
crazy.
the camaraderie is probably the main thing a lot of people get on here and say. Let me ask you a quick question. Is everybody on the boat required to be like firefighter certified?
Yep. Yep. Everybody's got to be able to fight fires. Everybody's got to be able to shore up. We call it shoring up. That's like if you get a hole inside a ship,
Right.
you got to shore it up with wood planks and metal gear and rope. And I mean, it's a whole stuff that you got to go through training and all that.
I didn't know that. That's wow. I can
Yeah,
kind of
I actually I was part of the firefighting squad. I was part of the we call it the SAT-BAT, which is the Security Alert Force. I was part of that, and I was
what is that?
in case anybody, like if we're shored up, say if we're shored up in the country and stuff, and there was like a terrorist attack or something like that,
Oh, I
or
got you.
someone got on the boat and tried to terrorist, we was the alert force team. You know, we would run up to the gun locker, get our guns and stuff, and search the ship for this guy.
Oh, wow. Learn
Yeah.
something new. Learn something new all the time.
Hey man,
Man,
ask me anything you want, man. I'll tell you. You know me.
man, I appreciate you for that one. Like, man. Hey, so about to transition. What were some of the fears transitioning out of the military, if any?
You know, in all actuality, I didn't have no fear. You know, I just thought it was just another thing because the type of person I am, I do what I got to do and do it. You know what I
Right.
mean? So, and I prepare myself and stuff like that. So, you know, I was already prepared. But the one thing that I didn't know was a lot of the VA information because they don't tell you a lot of stuff.
No, they
You
don't.
know, when you get out, they're just all like, well, you know, here's your GD 214 and smack you on the butt and tell you to leave. You know, and I learned all my stuff from other veterans.
Right.
You know what I mean? They told me, hey, dude, you need it because I mean they offered me 100% when I got out, but I told them no, I still want to work, so they gave me 90%, and I worked for a good 16 years before I actually went full 100%.
But what was that like from somebody being in the military to a civilian? What was that kind of like working as
That
a
was hard,
civilian?
hard as hell. It was very hard. It's still hard for me because civilians just don't understand military. You know, they just don't. I'm sorry, I don't care what anybody says. Civilians do not understand military. Plain and simple, they don't. Now, when we get out in the civilian world, a lot of businesses know that they know for the first year that we'll be there every day because it's not in us. I
Yeah.
mean, you know, come on, we went to work sick, you know, and then they tell you, hey, go to sick call. Oh,
Right.
okay. So you know, and just the way civilians act, I mean, it's just, I mean, if when we're in the military, when you're told to do something, you do it.
Quick.
Civilian world, they always got something, either look at you, backlash, back talk. I ain't gonna do it. You know, you get all that kind of news. Like, dude, just do the damn job. You know, get it done. Let's go home. You know,
It's like
and
a parent talking to their child. Why I gotta do that? Such and such did.
exactly. Well, he's over there sitting down smoking a cigarette. Well, I'm not talking about him. I'm talking about you. Why are you worried about him? You know, get your ass to work. You know, then I'll go over there and bust his butt, you know, if I need to and stuff like that.
Right.
But yeah, civilian world is so, and I had a couple of different, I started out, my first job was working at Sparkless Water in San Diego. And I went from just a lineman, which is, you know, cleaning the bottles and stuff. I went all the way up to lead man really quick. You know, there's like, dang, you only been here 3 years and you're already, you know, the manager, the lead man. I'm like, well, I'm sorry if I take charge. You know, and I learned everything. I learned how to drive an 18-wheeler there. I learned
Wow.
all their electrical equipment and everything. I ran the whole plant by myself. I did all that, learned all that. Then when I left there, I went to uh, a Red Wing shoe store, and I started out selling shoes there. And I went from selling shoes to driving a truck selling shoes to managing 7 stores. I was manager of 7 stores. And then the second job, I went to a place called Boot World, and I was selling boots there and stuff, and was a manager of a store there. And then I just couldn't handle it. You know what I mean? It was just, too much and stuff. So I said, forget it. I don't want to be in charge no more. So I went into nursing, and they, the military sent me to nursing school and phlebotomy school and stuff. So I did that. And the first place I worked at was in San Diego, was a methadone clinic, which I loved. It was a big experience, seeing so many addicts and seeing so many famous people. Dude, I've seen so many famous, I can't say because, I had to write a thing down.
Right.
But dude, I've seen so many famous people that, are heroin addicts. You're looking like, oh, what? You? Businessmen in suits, all that kind of, you're looking around, it ain't that average, guy living in a dumpster. I mean, like I said, I had guys driving up in limos and stuff.
Oh, wow.
And I'm all like, what? And then after that, I moved to North Carolina to help my dad out. And I was a nurse at a little doctor's office there. And I stayed there for like 5 years. And then that's when I moved out here and went to full disability.
Wow. You got many hats, man. You got a lot of hats you wore, bro.
I told you, man, I'm a jack of all, master of none.
I feel you, bro. Jesus. But hey, once out, how hard was it for you to adjust to civilian life?
It was very hard.
Right.
I couldn't understand. I couldn't understand why it was questioned so much, in civilians. I mean, they question every damn thing.
Right.
It's like, do the job. And then everybody thinks that you're trying to make them look bad. Because I had that a couple of times. Hey, dude, you need to slow down. You're making us look bad. I'm like, how am I making you look bad? You're making yourself look bad. I'm just doing the job. Like when I started driving 18-wheelers for the company,
right.
These guys would take like 10, 12 hours to do it. I did it in half their time.
Right.
I'd run 2 trips in 6 hours and be back. And oh yeah, I got cussed out by the other guys, and my leader at the time, my manager, was like, hey, you need to do this, you need to slow down, you need this. I'm just like, well, ain't you glad I'm back? Well, yeah, I mean, yeah, we got perfect progress and stuff. Well, then why are you pitching at me? It's because the other 2 guys are complaining to you about how I'm making them look bad.
Yeah, you messing up their nap time, bro.
Exactly.
They want to go off somewhere and just chill for a couple hours.
See, me, in the military, we can get the job done and go home.
Yeah.
That's what we want to do. That's what I need to get this job done so I can go home.
Civilian
world is like, I want to see how much money I can get on overtime.
Right. Because our paycheck set. When we get out here, it's like I need that overtime so I can do a little extra for mama and the kids. So hey, do you think the military gave you the tools to be motivated even if it didn't seem like there was going to be a favorable outcome?
I think the military gave me every little bit of thing that I learned and did. It improved my life so much better in the civilian world. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, and we got our horror stories in the military. You know that. Right. Some people just wasn't good, didn't do good, got kicked out, all this kind of blase. But I mean, to me, the military, I mean, it made me who I was. I got to meet totally different people. Okay, I come from a small town. I graduated with like 30 people in my class, high school and stuff. So, and I didn't know a lot of people.
We're not talking about the Navy. You talking about the town you grew up in?
Yeah.
30 people?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a small town.
Yeah. So, and I didn't know a lot about, the whole thing, but the experience the military gave me and humbled me. And I tell a lot of people this, we got people around here in the United States talking about, oh, I'm poor. You don't know what poor is, bro. I mean, I've been there. I've seen it, lived it. I've stayed in a little shack with on stilts. I mean, look, just like Vietnam and stuff, in the jungle and stuff. Palm leaves, we're eating off of palm leaves. Rice and fish are served on palm leaves and stuff. You eat with your hands, no silverware. You're sitting down on a mat. You ain't sitting in no chair. And it humbled me because how poor they was when they fed me and my partners. There was 3 of us. When they fed us and stuff like that, they made us eat first and eat as much as we want. We felt that I was like, oh, I only ate a little bit. I'm like, no, I'm not hungry. And the girl I was with was like, you're being disrespectful. They made this for y'all. You need to eat. I was like, all right, well then F it. And then afterwards, I tried to hand them money. And they was like, no, we don't want no money. We know this, you're a guest. This is how we do it. I'm like, well, you're friggin' poor. This is probably what you
Man.
eat in a week, But
Right.
when we left that night and stuff. But me and my boys snuck back, and we had a Coke bottle, and we stuffed it full of money and put it on their doorstep when we left the place.
Yeah, a lot of people don't. We always look within the insides of our home and sit back and say that we need more. You may want it, but you don't need it, because it's a lot of people.
No, you don't need a damn thing. Honestly, you don't. Come on, you get money. You don't need. Everybody tries to keep up with the Joneses, and that's what pisses me off about a lot of people. It's like, why are you trying to keep up with the Joneses for? If you're happy in your house, and it may be small, it may be friggin' big. I don't care what it is, bro. Like when I go over to people's houses, like, oh, my house is a mess. I don't give a damn. I don't care, bro. If that's how you want to live, you live like that. I might not live like that, but I'm not going to judge you by that. Exactly. And I'm not going to be like, oh, I went to Don's house. His shit is, you know what I mean?
Why you have to use me for the example?
Well, you know what I'm trying to say, man. but you know how people are and stuff like that. And I'm not that way. I'm so like, man, I don't give a crap, man. Who cares? You might come up to me and be like, oh, Dale, I got $1 million. Look what I got. I got this car. I got that. Cool for you, man. I'm proud of you. Good job, bro. But I ain't going to be like, oh, I need to get $1 million. I want that car. I want that. Hell no, I'm satisfied with everything I got.
Man, we just different over here. That's all. It's just, that's like you said, the Joneses. I need to keep up with what they do, especially social media. It's kind of killing society today. It's kind of screwing our minds up as to believe that we need to walk around flashing big chains, big cars, and money everywhere. They're spending it on just nothing. And it's making a lot of people selfish because they're so busy chasing something that
it's unattainable.
That they can't take to the grave.
You can't get it.
Right.
I'm sorry, you can't have that big. And if you do get it, what's your quality of life? You got to remember, you get that big 6-bedroom house, 4-bath, 2-car garage, pool, big driveway, own 5 acres of land, all that kind of stuff. You get that, but you know what's happening? You're living in that house. You know what I mean? You can't go nowhere. All your money is going to the house and everything you got.
Right.
Then you get complacent and bored. Because all you're doing is you're staying in your house and walking around. Yeah, you might have a pool, but actually, ask how many times that people got a pool. Ask them how many times they get in a year. I bet you it's less than 10 times. I bet you it's less.
Yeah.
You got this big ass pool, but you never get in it.
You never get in.
But you wanted it. Now you want it, you got it, but you ain't gonna do nothing.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's what kills me about people and stuff. I mean, it's really sad,
Yeah. Hey, what advice would you give someone transitioning out of the military?
Get a hold of a veteran real quick and learn as much as you can.
Oh yeah.
Or go to the VA hospital yourself. You got the DAV to talk to. You got veterans to talk to. You got veterans of foreign affairs, the VFW, stuff like that. I mean, you got tons of people. Get a hold of somebody and talk, because that's where you're gonna get your knowledge from.
Right.
That's where you get your knowledge from.
Yeah. I can't tell you how many times when I got out, every time I went to the VA, because it's the waiting game at the VA. You got to sit down somewhere and just wait to be called on. And that can take a couple of hours.
Oh yeah.
Always an old individual coming up with their cane or their wheelchair. Hey, are you getting such and such? I'd be like, what's that? Well, let me put you on game. You just got to be. And it's another thing about the society, people not willing to sit back and take things in, because people already think, I got it, I already know. And come to find out, you really don't know nothing about what that older gentleman was telling you. Just take in knowledge a little sometimes. Ain't nothing wrong with it. You got anything else to share with us there before I close out?
No, man, I'm just, like I said, I'm always living the dream. If anybody's got any questions or anything like that, man, or need anything, holler at me. I'll let you know. Yeah, Don can put my number up there, and if anybody got any questions or anything like that,
Dale's he's a good guy. He's a real good guy.
Let me know.
real gentleman. He gets all the ladies, damn.
Whatever.
Hey man, I appreciate you. Thank you for your service, bro. I
Hey, man,
really
I appreciate
appreciate
you and
you.
thank you for your service, man.
Thank you for jumping on this interview with me, bro.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Anytime you need me, holler at me.
Hey, I'm gonna close out with a quote. A lot of people resist transition and therefore never allow themselves to enjoy who they are. Embrace the change, no matter what it is. Once you do, you can learn about the new world you're going to live in and take advantage of it. Hey, man, that's my spiel, and I'm sticking to it. Who's up next for formation?